Hello students, welcome to the e-lecture. Today's class we're going to see about Jimmy Carter and moralism. First let us have the glance of a short biography of Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was born on 1st October 1924. He was the 39th President of USA. He was in office for 2 terms from 1977 to 1981. He was a member of Democratic Party. Previously, he served as the state senator for the state Georgia from 1963 to 1967. And he was also the 76th governor of the state Georgia for the period 1971 to 1975. Okay, Jimmy Carter. What kind of a person he was? The Carter was believed in liberal ideology. He was so kind. He believed in moralism and liberal ideology. So he endeavored to follow a moralistic policy in his administration. He has been dedicated himself to cause for the basic rights of human beings, which we'll be seeing in the upcoming slides, how he implemented his policy of liberalism and moralism while following the relationship with other countries. Need and necessities of moralistic policy. Because if you see the previous presidents, after the Second World War, all the presidents were so aggressive, they were so, we can't say rude, but they were so strong, they were very, aggressive word would be very fit to describe the presidents after Second World War. They were very strong in their ideology of colonization or imperialism, in establishing their spheres in Latin America especially. So if you see, even we can take the examples of previous 2 presidents, Lyndon B. Johnson, Richard Nixon. Okay, so they were so very aggressive in their foreign policies. But what is the need? What is the necessity of sudden change in changing that the traditional foreign policy? What caused or what made this new president, that is Jimmy Carter, changing the attitude or changing the nature of foreign policy? So in the upcoming slides, maybe 4 to 5 slides, we will be seeing why Jimmy Carter followed this moralistic policy, why this this transformation or sudden change took place. Okay, so keep it in mind. We are seeing the background of having this sudden change. Okay, we are seeing the need and necessity of having introducing new change in their foreign policy. That is new change, I meaning here is moralistic policy. Okay, what happened before Jimmy Carter, before coming the power, what the America faced? It was recently we finished the topic Vietnam War. So what happened in the Vietnam War? In the Vietnam War, America lost, and the communist ideology or communist regimes, they won the war. Vietnam got independence, and Cambodia was also got independence. So that shows the weakness of American foreign policy. Okay, so previous presidents have done some of the mistakes. That continuing that mistake during his presidency, America was in a position to change their attitude or to renew their status. Okay, we can say status. Okay, so America lost its their stand in the international politics. So they are now, during Jakarta's period, they are trying to re-establish their influence in the world politics, but with a different view, by taking the tool of moralism. Okay, each president have their own policy like that. Jimmy Carter followed a moralistic policy in order to change the image of America once again. Okay, let us. So first, they are saying the causes. For what cause Jimmy Carter adopted a moralistic policy. Okay, first point is embarrassment created by the post-war entanglements. The post-war means not Second World War. We're talking about the Vietnam War. Okay, Vietnam, what happened in Vietnam? Just now I have told the result of Vietnam War. America lost their stand of in the international politics. Okay, so that embarrassment made the new president to make some changes in their foreign policy. Second point, Vietnam and Cambodia got independence. Okay, I already told this point. So after when Vietnam and Cambodia they declared themselves an independent country, U.S. intervention lost its scope. So what was the respect, or we can say, even while American regime was inside the Vietnam and Cambodia, they declared themselves independence with the support of communist powers. Okay, so this was also another cause for the new president Jimmy Carter changed his attitude. Okay, he just stepped back, but saying we are following a moralistic policy. Okay, when there is no response and respect, America stepped back. Okay, and they told that it is a moralistic policy. Okay, and then C2 was disintegrated. Already we have seen what is C2, why it was created. So after the Vietnam War, the C2 was disintegrated. Then situations turned against the ideological interest of US. What situation? Where it was turned against the US interest? Yes, it is the situation wherever the pro-American feeling was there, pro-American government was there. In all those places, communism or communist powers, Russia and China, they established their spheres. Okay, particularly in the places of China, Iran, Afghanistan and Guatemala. Okay, so these are the countries were highly influenced by the communist ideology and they were consolidated as a communist countries. Okay, in China, communism government was established, as well as Iran, Afghanistan and Guatemala. If you take Afghanistan, that issue is very different because Afghanistan was a neutral country at that time, but there was also could see the spread of communism. So USA lost their stand. They lost their ideological stand in all these four places. Okay, we are seeing the cause or the need and necessity of introducing a new policy, that is moralist policy. Okay, we are seeing what are the causes made America to change their foreign policy. This is a continuation. I said in the previous slide while giving the introduction, I told you Jimmy Carter was in a position to correct the mistakes done by the previous presidents as well, not just in the Vietnam War. In internal policy also, some of the administration was not done so good. Okay, so let us see what are the mistakes done by the previous presidents. Okay, Nixon policy. What was the Nixon's foreign policy against Johnson's Great Society? Okay, let us not see in depth about the previous president's policy. Okay, the previous presidents did not concentrated more on the foreign policy. They have lost their America's stand in the Vietnam War and only promotion of economy. What is the point is meaning here? Johnson's great policy, it was Nixon followed Johnson's great policy, but did not followed in a full-fledged. Okay, he concentrated only on the promotion of economy. He did not concentrate on civil rights or any other internal developments. Okay, they neither concentrated much on the foreign policy, neither on nor on the internal policy as well. Okay, so that was not in a full stand of American administration. Okay, the previous president did not administer so well, so that was also fall on the head of the new president Jimmy Carter. And we are talking about Nixon. Okay, Nixon did lots of we can say scandals, he was engaged on scandal and corruption. Okay, that followed this new president's head also. Okay, what are the mistakes done by the previous president? We are talking about Nixon. We need not to talk about the previous president. Let's take just the previous president. Okay, we are talking about the Nixon. Nixon's fall is more sudden than his rise. We're not going to see in detail about Nixon because we finished, but since we did not focus all the things about the Nixon, I thought to give some of the scandals with Jimmy Carter's policy. Okay, that is why I'm focusing more on Nixon's presidency here. Let us see what are the mistakes done by the Nixon administration or Nixon period. Okay, Watergate scandal. Okay, I said in the beginning, Carter was in a position of erasing the mistakes done by the previous president. Okay, what are the mistakes done by the previous president? Okay, Watergate scandal, then misusing power of 1972 re-election, and few more things are there. Let us see. Just take only two issues. Okay, Watergate scandal. What is Watergate scandal? Then you could understand the second point, misusing power of 1972. Yeah, for re-election, Nixon misused his policy, his administration to win the next election. That was, that's quite common in politics. Okay, let's not touch that part, but we have to speak about the Watergate scandal. It is very famous issue in America. We have to see it in detail. Watergate scandal. Girls, what do you think about this picture? What comes to your mind while seeing this? As you can see here, a pond is here. There are some buildings are there. Buildings like bank or some business apartments, big cities. What is coming to your mind? Because you have to express your things in the Google Classroom. You should tell me what did come to your mind while seeing this picture. Okay, let me give you a few more clues. You're gonna see Watergate scandal. Scandal, no, it's like a corruption involving in a using power and involving in a chapism, like involving in some corruption. Okay, this is the second clue I have for you. In previous slide, you're seeing here some of the buildings are here and one pond is here. Is there any link between the water and the buildings? Okay, next slide. Here's President Nixon. How he is he cool, or is he in tension, or it looks like he was listening to something very seriously? Is he answering for the call? Okay, I'm expecting you to comment in the Google Classroom section. Okay, let me tell you what is Watergate scandal. It is slowly, it is very little, no? Very small in size. Okay, let me read. And I'll attach the PowerPoint without my image. Okay, so you can see that as a big picture. Let me read this. The Watergate scandal occurred where the Republicans were caught spying on the Democrats at the Democratic headquarters. Now do you understand? Watergate scandal occurred where the Republicans were caught spying on the Democrats at the Democratic headquarters. Now, can you guess the previous images? Republicans were caught spying on the Democrats at the Democratic headquarters. Okay, so Carter was a Republican. Okay, Nixon was a Republican. Okay, he was spying the opposite party. Okay, so now you must be understanding what is Watergate scandal. Watergate is nothing but the office. Okay, the Democratic office was called as Watergate building. Okay, Watergate office. Okay, so he was accused for this scandal. Okay, so this was a big shameful for the Nixon's administration. So now Carter was in a position to answer for the press and other, other countries' press and media. Okay, this was a mistake done by the previous president. So as a result of this fame or defame, he was accused of misusing his power for winning the second election or re-election, and he was also accused for Watergate scandal. It is like 2G spectrum. We have our own scandal and corruption issues in India. So okay, so like that, this Watergate scandal became a very serious political issue in America at that time. So as a result of these two, Nixon resigned his presidency. These are some of the clippings published at that time of Nixon resignation. Okay, what happened? So Nixon was caught of spying the official information of the Republicans, of the Democrats in the Watergate place. So after his resignation, Gerald Ford, he was a 38th president. He became the next president. What happened? He was poor in geopolitics. Okay, and a better status for women was repeated. Means he suddenly came to because he was a vice president of Nixon, so he came to the presidency next position he filled up, but he has no political knowledge. Of course, he did something for the nation. What he did, whatever the policies were introduced by the previous government or previous president, he just followed that. For example, he gave importance for the rights of the women. Okay, that was the only example we can quote during Gerald Ford's presidency. And then he loosened the status in Indochina. Okay, Indochina, Vietnam is Indochina. In the Vietnam War, Gerald Ford did not acted so well. Okay, so North Vietnam taken over the South Vietnam and Cambodia. North Vietnam was a communist supported country. You must be remember the story of North Vietnam and South Vietnam, and how South Vietnam was taken up, how America lost their stand in the Vietnam War. All that we have studied in the previous classes. Okay, so during Gerald Ford period, America loosened their status in the Vietnam. Okay, so these are the mistakes done by the previous president. Girls, still we are seeing what is the need and necessities of introducing new change in American foreign policy. That is the moralism. Why this guy is introducing moralism? We are saying the history of the previous presidents' mistakes. Whatever the mistakes done by the previous president, Jimmy Carter is just trying to, hiding out things, not hiding the things. He just want to promote a new America into the new. He want to promote the America's image into the new political setup that is prevailing in